turn a two-horse canter into a three-horse race. Last Friday, St Helens came a real cropper here. The lead switched 7 days ago. So is this a night for more changes? Nicol, he gets a try. They can't believe this. The leaders are being ripped to shreds.
We just simply got blown away by a much more committed team on the night. They definitely outclassed us and outmanoeuvred us.
How priceless that 1 point could be for Wigan. They will go top tonight, and this could be the night when the Super League changes complexions completely.
The Bradford Bulls will be parting company with our head coach, Brian Smith, after the end of this Super League season.
The excitement and growth of the Bulls has been a really wonderful period of my life.
Bradford are not out of the picture yet, not by a long shot. Bradford, who have had a big say here tonight, have another big say in the destiny of the title. They've thrown the gauntlet down to Wigan now.
We're only a point clear, and we have a very tough game against Bradford this week, and we know that we've never been to Bradford before and had an easy game, and the way they're playing at the moment, it's going to be especially difficult.
Well, last Friday, St Helens were soundly beaten here. Now it's one of the Super League games of the season. Wigan, the champions, are in town. And if the Bulls win here this evening, they will be looking and claiming their first victory over Wigan for over 2 years. It's a big, big night here at the Odsal Stadium. Now, you might have seen on your television screens last week a very disconsolate Bobby Goulding sitting down there on the bench alongside his coach, Sean McRae. And Bobby makes a quick return to the scene of last week's disaster. He is Steve-O and my guest on the programme tonight. Bobby, where is the Bradford Bulls scarf? Because there's no doubting who you're supporting this week.
Well, definitely, it's a massive game tonight for both Bradford and Wigan, but it's a really big game for St Helens as well, even though we're not playing. I've definitely got my horns on this evening.
I bet you have. The thing is that they do say, don't they, that you can have a great game when you're not playing, as you maybe did last week. They missed you. They missed you badly. And St Helens, it could be a big night for you, this.
Well, it could be a big night, but on the other hand, we had internationals of Chris Joint, Vila Matautia, and other people, Tommy Martin, Simon Booth. You can go, there was 6 top quality players who were missing for Saints last week, and hopefully Bradford can do us another favour tonight.
Well, Steve-O, Sean McRae said after the game here last week, Wigan to win by 20 points. Kidology?
Well, I think so, yes. I think you'd like that, but I really think that Bradford can win today, providing they get off to the same start as they did last week. They never allowed St Helens to get into the swing of things, and if they can do that again, the crowd behind them, anything can happen. But they have to take control in the first 15 to 20 minutes.
It was a faultless performance almost, wasn't it, against St Helens last week? Now, they will be building up to this match between now and 7:30. But, you know, Anita Madigan is providing the entertainment for the record crowd that they believe will be here tonight. She's the lady who gave the Bulls one of the best sports songs ever in Run with the Bulls. She's performing tonight, as I say, for the Odsal crowd. It all adds up to a magical night. They've got it right here off the pitch and on it as well. And that, you know, is not only my opinion.
I think we've got the best height in the business. We've got the best ground. We put a lot of effort into all the things we do. We have great bands on, great entertainment, and I think we're doing it a lot better than anybody else.
I like the fact I can bring my daughter 3 hours before kick-off and she's entertained until the game starts. She loves it as much as I do.
Live in Brixton, have come 230 miles to watch Bradford. They're brilliant.
It's brilliant. I've come about 50 years and I'm missing out. I've never been excited coming to a rugby league match, ever. I think it's really brilliant. It's the way it should be done. Other teams, please take notice.
You wouldn't have dreamt of coming to a match 2 years ago at this early, expecting such entertainment like you've got it now.
I've never known anything like it before, and I've been coming here about 20 years, so it's great.
And a lot of young people, a lot of young children with their mums and dads. Brilliant.
I came at 5 o'clock this evening. I could enjoy all the pre-hype, you know, getting all hyped up for the big match. Tremendous, it is.
Just how to make it, and I hope it feels good, knowing I love him too.
Well, they have got it right here, there's no doubt about it, and it just shows you those reactions from the supporters on the terraces tonight. And Steve-O and I have been wandering around as well. They've got ball ponds here, they've got bouncy castles. It's a wonderful, wonderful night when you come to rugby league here at Odsal now. And they say, you know, that Super League is a family affair. And out on the pitch tonight, it is also a family affair with a vengeance. I bet you have. The thing is that they do say, don't they, that you can have a great game when you're not playing, as you maybe did last year.
Two of the greatest players in the world meet on opposing sides. 20-year-old Robbie of Bradford Bulls, 22-year-old Henry of Wigan. The Paul brothers, head-to-head. One aim, victory. One target, to outdo the other.
He's got a great imagination when he's on the football field. You know, it wouldn't surprise me in any game for him to pass around the back, chip kick in his own end goal, do whatever it can to overcome, you know, the defence. That's the type of player he is. That's the type of things that go on in his mind. He wants to do as well as he can to make you bad, you know, make you feel bad.
He's got everything, basically. He's got all the raw skills, good passing game. He's got good little kicks. He's cheeky, you know, so that's a good strength and to have, you know, for a young guy, because it does get tough out there, and if you can get away with a few little things as he does, then it's good for the team.
Because both me and my brother here, we have a great friendship between us. You know, a lot of families don't have that sort of thing, but I like, you know, it's good to say that me and my brother do have good friendship. And seeing what he has done, you know, I can say nothing but I'm so proud of him. You know, a strong family member myself, and just to see what he's done, it's a great encouragement for myself.
Proud, very proud, very proud. He's done quite a lot for a short time. He's still got a lot more to do, and that's the thing. I think he's got to get into his head that he's basically done nothing yet. Played a good game at Wembley, man of the match at Wembley, but still he's not won nothing.
Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk.
Stay out of my way, bro. That's all I can probably say, you know. No, there's what can I say to him? He's his own person, you know. He's got his own coach and he's doing his own things. I still think he's trying to copy my spin turn, but...
Pourquoi aimez-vous les M&M's?
Ooh, but I can speak English, you know?
The cheeky chocolate, those crazy colors. What about the peanuts?
They are so crunchy. Naughty.
Don't you mean nutty?
Nutty, naughty, same thing. You naughty, naughty boy.
Oh, dear.
Let's get out of here.
Lancashire beat the odds against arch-rivals Yorkshire, securing a place at Lord's. Now for the final challenge. They come face to face with an outstanding Northamptonshire who plan to make it a triumphant year. The Benson and Hedges Cup final, Saturday at 10:30 live on Sky Sports 2.
Bradford Bulls have not lost at Odsal since December when Leeds won here. Wigan have not lost to Bradford in 6 meetings, home and away, in 2 years. And they have gone 13 games unbeaten this summer so far. This is the big test for both these two. They are still queuing up outside. Queues snaking away from the turnstiles here. They haven't seen a night like this at Odsal for a long time, and we hear there is a slight delay to kick-off time, so as all the people who want to get into Odsal can do so. 14,043, their biggest league crowd in 1993-94. That was for Wigan's visit. They will beat that tonight by miles. They might even get up to the 18,500 that were here for a Leeds Cup quarter-final replay in 1983-84. It's the biggest night for years in the Bradford Bulls history. And one man who has helped to make all this happen is Peter Deakin, the marketing executive here at Odsal, and he's downstairs now talking with Bill.
Peter, first of all, what's the score on the delay to the kick-off?
Yeah, Bill, there's a problem outside because there still are hundreds of people still trying to get into the stadium, so the police have advised us to delay the kick-off for 5 minutes to allow them to all get in.
Well, you knew this was going to attract a bumper crowd, but has this exceeded expectations?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, your cameras have been going around the stadium, Bill. I'm sure they can see for themselves. It's a fabulous atmosphere. Everywhere's nearly full, and I can hardly hear myself talking.
And for a marketing manager, this must be fulfillment, I should think.
I'll be straight into the boardroom for a pay rise after this, Bill. No, it's fabulous. I mean, this is the combination of a lot of hard work from a lot of people this week, and it's fabulous to see it.
There must be just that nervous tingle that you've still got to do it on the pitch.
Well, of course, you know, I mean, I've got butterflies. No, I haven't got butterflies, I'll correct that. I've got pterodactyls, I think, flying around inside there. No, I mean, the whole place is heating up inside there. The boys are anxious to get out. We're just going to have to wait a little longer while everybody gets in.
OK, Peter, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you.
And they are taking every vantage point to see this match here tonight at Odsal. It's a fabulous night, it really is. Over their 8 games this season, 73,400 people have turned up here, an average of 9,175. Let's take a look at some more statistics. The defence attack this season, Bradford 94 tries, but the remarkable thing about them is that they have scored 377 points in their 8 home games here, averaging more than 47 points per game. Wigan have the best attack in Super League and, with only 217 points conceded, the best and meanest defence. The season so far, this is the story of this summer of 96. Wigan have won 13 to Bradford's 11. They have lost 4, Bradford. Wigan, just the 1 defeat against St Helens, the 1 draw against London Broncos. Bradford have won all 8 home games. Wigan have won 6 from 7 away. Brian Smith's in position. He's waiting for the start of this game. The Bradford Bulls coach who shocked the world last week by announcing he was leaving all this behind after less than a year and going to Parramatta for the opportunity of a lifetime, he later described it. Steve-O, I can't understand how he can turn his back on this.
Well, it depends how much money's at stake, and obviously, from all reports, it was a lot of money that Parramatta wafted under the nose of Brian Smith. Has done the best thing for himself and, of course, the family. But it's disappointment here. The Bradford fans, they were stunned last week. And I still feel that many of them just can't get it into their minds that the master, Brian Smith, will be on his way at the end of this season.
But, Steve-O, it hasn't affected the crowd, and I don't suppose for 1 minute it's going to affect the players.
No, not really. I think the fact that Chris Caisley, the chairman here, was very quick to say that it's not just one man that has made this club this particular Super League season. It has been a great teamwork right the way through. The enthusiasm with the staff here is quite outstanding, and it is a credit to Super League, to Rugby League, and we keep saying it, but other clubs, please take note.
Here come the champions for the past 7 years. Wigan, the Invincibles in Rugby League, are 1 or 2 cracks showing in Super League. The next 80 minutes, they're most crucial. And what a night for the Paul family, 12,500 miles away in New Zealand. They'll be able to watch their 2 sons tonight. Henry Paul of Wigan who has said before the match to his brother, just keep out of my way. A big family affair, a big family love between the two of them. But tonight, there's no love affair between those two. Not for 80 minutes anyway. Here come the Bradford Bulls. Wait for the noise. Sensational entry to the arena for the Bradford Bulls. Unbeaten here at Odsal. A 100% record here. And with men like Robbie Paul on top of his form, no wonder. And with an atmosphere like this every other week, no wonder either. Not much colour in the fireworks, but my word, there's some sound. And they're hoping they're going to be running with the Bulls tonight. And here's a young man who half an hour ago wasn't playing. Then he was taken off the bus, told Martin Afire had failed his fitness test, and Danny Ellison gets the nod to come into this side. And remember, there's no Rob Smythe either. The Bradford team has Stuart Spruce at fullback, Tamani, Callan, Lachlan and Scales, Bradley and Paul. McDermott, Lowe's, Furbank front row, Dwyer, Doniger second row, McNamara the loose forward. On the bench, Tomlinson, Christie, Medley, Nicol, coach Brian Smith. Wigan, Radlinski, Robinson, Twigamala, Connolly, Ellison, Paul and Edwards. Formidable. O'Connor, Hall, Cassidy, Horton, Farrell and Johnson. Long, Murdoch, Knowles and Barrow. Coach, of course, Graham West, who knows what it is to win a rugby league title. The match referee, one of the top officials in Super League, is Russell Smith. Martin Afire is in the crowd tonight, having failed a fitness test in the corridors below stairs just a few short minutes ago. So it's Wigan who will get this match underway at Odsal Stadium. The Stones Super League showdown, the biggest match for years at Odsal, and Wigan's biggest test if they are to claim an 8th title in a row. Andy Farrell now fully fit again. He is taking the kicking responsibilities once more for Wigan. And here we go, the most eagerly awaited match of the Super League season's underway. Great roar as Tamani goes in for the first tackle. And good tackling too from O'Connor and from Simon Horton. James Lowes is at dummy half. And then joining the line is Steve McNamara, who was so influential last week. Now Robbie Paul. First run from the local hero, greeted by his brother Henry. Brian McDermott takes the Bulls to the halfway line. 4 tackles gone. First minute of the match at Odsal. It's Lowes having a wonderful season, James Lowes. Enjoying every minute of it. Last tackle, 57 metres has been made. Little dink over the top by McNamara. Radlinski's underneath it, and Radlinski sporting a new colour to his hair.
Took it well. Beautiful take by the fullback, but a good chase by Jeremy Donoghue. It was good work by the Bradford side then. Good running from dummy half as well by the hooker James Lowes.
Wigan's turn then to attack this Bradford Bulls line. Good tackling. Martin Hall brought to ground. Now this is Terry O'Connor, and a mistake from Henry Paul. He was under pressure from Bradley. Callan's got it back. Lowe spreads the play out to McNamara. McNamara taking them on down that left-hand side.
Suicide pass from the prop forward, Terry O'Connor. And you can see that the sun is in the Wigan players' eyes. They are under pressure. Paul had a look at the prop forward and said, "You're kidding."
Bradford won the toss. They elected to run this way from left to right. Touch of local knowledge maybe, because those shadows are lengthening. The sun is dropping, but not on the Bradford Bulls. That was Doniger. 4 tackles gone. Lowes again. He tried to keep the movement going, but lost the ball. Connolly's come up with it for Wigan. Long pass to Twigamala. This is the danger man, and Bradford know that. He's surrounded.
Good head-on tackle there by Callan, but it was Farrell that got the ball away with a real big hit on the hooker James Lowes. Bradford working the blind side just as they did last week against the Saints. hoping to find the crack in the defence. It came against the Saints, but not on this occasion against Wigan.
Here's Andy Farrell now. Good tackling again from Bradford Bulls. Brian Smith been working so hard on marshalling their defences. This is Andy Johnson. Johnson and Cassidy both wearing head guards tonight. Both of them bright red. And this is Radlinski again. Big kick towards the corner. The ball bounces for Tamani. Tamani is tackled first by Cassidy, then by Radlinski.
Good kick and chase though. Radlinski linking up on the outside of Sean Edwards, who was put under a lot of pressure. Couldn't get a kick away, but the full-back Radlinski did. And it was a great chase.
What about the blonde rinse, Steve-O, for Chris Radlinski?
I'm not up much on hairstyles, you know that, Edwy. Leave me alone on that one. It's early days. Never mind hair. Oh, this is going to be tough. Bradley is banged to the ground.
3.5 minutes gone. James Lowes at dummy half finds McDermott. Moving off the mark. Penalty against Wigan. They've got to stand square at the play of the ball.
Mick Cassidy, there you see, made no attempt to stand square in front of Bradley. A bad mistake, really. That nullifies that beautiful kick into the corner by Chris Radlinski and the quick chase. And you can see clearly that the prop forward never squared at the play of the ball. Just goes to show the problems that Wigan have, especially in the forwards, when you've got to put Mick Cassidy in at prop.
Well, no Neil Cowie, no Kelvin Skerrett, of course, usual prop forwards. Oh, that's great defence, though. Twigamala was in there, so too was Ellison and Johnson. Callan couldn't stay in the field of play.
Nowhere to go there. You can see Twigamala offered him the outside. Danny Ellison, he stood his corner. That is strength. So strong, isn't he? Helping along there, Twigamala. Had a fine season so far. A hard man to stop. Bradford will have to keep a keen eye on the big centre, Twigamala.
Well, they were pushed into touch then, Bradford Bulls, on only the second tackle. So that was perhaps an error. Henry Paul is tackled. This now is Farrell. That's good tackling. That's terrific defence from Bradford, led there by Carl Furbank. Screams for obstruction as Terry O'Connor went on a dummy run. Referee Russell Smith is unimpressed. This is Johnson. Andy Johnson playing loose forward, the 22-year-old, try last week against Castleford. This is Henry Paul. He finds Radlinski. Radlinski gets it out to Ellison. Try! It's a big decision for referee and touch judge. Will they go to the screen? Wigan are celebrating. The referee will take a pause in proceedings and hand this decision on to the video ref. Did Ellison get the ball down before he was bundled onto the corner flag?
I think he did. There, just before he goes across, and that's the reason why we have the big screen. Would be virtually impossible for a referee just with a naked eye to get away with that. And this will be a try, surely.
Try is given. The Wigan supporters celebrating. Danny Ellison, the man brought in for the injured Martin Offiah, gets his second Super League try of the season. Ellison, the hero.
Well, first points goes to Henry Paul out of the Paul battle. They thought he was going to do the kick. He dummied, delayed the pass to Radlinski, who chimed in well, and Danny Ellison only found out he was going to play in this game with an hour to the kickoff. Beautiful play there. That was a good serve by the fullback Radlinski, but well finished off by Ellison. He went low. Ellison made sure that no one was going to get to him, but this is the factor. See how they just hesitated? It was his brother. He took that dummy. That is a great try. Well scored by the youngster Ellison.
Terrific try. He ducked underneath the diving defenders from Bradford and got over the line. Terrific try from Ellison. Now Farrell, 61 Super League goals. 61 Super League goals. It stays. He misses with that. Difficult chance. But it's first blood Wigan. First try, 4-0.
His brother Robbie and the other defenders, they just hesitated. They expected the chip over, and you could see that they were left. They went on the inside. Beautiful play. Matt Callan was caught short, so was Donoghue. What a start for that man.
Graham West Wigan coach, said, when I spoke to him earlier on today, that they will come here and play with the cards that they are dealt, and they have got the opening try of the match. 7 minutes of this game gone. The champions ahead, 4 points to 0. Now, what about the man who Danny Ellison replaced, Martin O'Fire? He's with Bill on the sideline.
Martin, your replacement's done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, I know. As I said, that's, you know, one more that got away, but it's great for Danny. You know, it's a great start which we needed, and you know, we knew we had to get off to a good start, and we have done.
Just how close were you to playing? I mean, you were warming up with about 3/4 to go before the kick-off, it seemed.
Yeah, I was having a warm-up. It was touch and go. You know, a big game. I wanted to play him, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're not fit, you've got to have a guy who's out there who's fit, and I think it showed there with that try.
Well, given the momentum Bradford Bulls have built up, that is the best possible start you could have hoped for.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, a bit scary there. God, I don't know what Chris was doing. But yeah, you know, we knew they were going to be very hard, especially, you know, with the crowd. I've never played here with the crowd as big as this one. I'm not playing today anyway, but I've never seen the crowd as big as at Bradford. So, you know, they're on the high. You know, if we can, you know, get anything from this game, you know, it's going to be a big ask, and, you know, I think the lads are up to it there.
Wigan up for it, Bradford Bulls certainly up for it, but what on earth was happening to Chris Radlinski then? The ball went through his legs.
Well, I think the sun got in his eyes on the first attempt, but certainly not on the second attempt. He made a real meal of it. He was caught in two minds and then decided to skip over the top, and was lucky to do that.
They keep the ball alive so well, though, and Robinson a live wire, and he finds Henry Paul. Henry Paul, I think he believes he's got 1 or 2 family points to prove tonight. This is Edwards, great tackle by Robbie.
It was on the last as well. And you don't see that all that often. Wigan do not give up the ball that easy. That's good defence from Bradford.
So, Bradford now in possession. This is the number 23, Bernard Dwyer, and Robbie Paul. 13 tackles average in a match. That was number 4. Terrific effort from the young captain tonight already. James Lowes, Brian McDermott.
Well, there's little doubt in my mind that the battle between the two brothers will swing the game one way or the other. We mentioned that Henry Paul's little dummy expected on the chip over the top, pass out wide, created that first try.
This is Lowes. He gets it out to Calland, who dabs it forward and straight into the arms of Ellison. Well, amazing, isn't it, that you get a lad playing off the coach half an hour before Steve-O, and he starts off like this.
Good positioning as well. Not only did he just die with the ball, but he stepped and made valuable meters forward.
Last home win against Wigan, 10-6 in April 1994, when they were pit for the title on points difference. Played that night in front of a huge crowd also. Not as big as this, though. Great crowd inside Odsal, enjoying this. Would enjoy it better, the majority of them, if Bradford could get over for the try.
Latecomers still streaming through the turnstiles. Wonderful conditions for a great game, and what a great defence there. Bernard Dwyer went low, caught a stray boot, I feel.
That's a good kick. That almost catches the slope, and Tamani has to run it out with a little juggling skill. And that will be 0 tackle for Bradford. He's made 10 valuable meters ground.
They were valuable as well, because the kick and chase from Wigan was superb. Not just 1 or 2 there were 6 players on the Wigan side.
Quick play the ball by Bradford, and James Lowes scurries off again. Then he's brought to ground on the second tackle. This is now Carl Furbank. Good stuff from Bradford. They keep the ball alive. Loughlin. He's got Gary Connolly ahead of him, though. Connolly is in outstanding form this season. Robbie Paul, the dummy half. Brian McDermott. They're 10 metres inside the Wigan half of the field. That's McNamara, looping pass into the arms of Bradley. Bradley cutting it down the middle. They are meeting stern resistance from this Wigan defence. A little different than the opening 11.5 minutes here 7 days ago against St Helens.
Well, they took over against the Saints, didn't they? But it's Wigan now that's controlling the game so far.
Paul out wide to Loughlin. Immediately he's clattered by Robinson. Releases the pass, though, to Scales.
Should that be back to 6? I'm sure Robinson actually got a fingertips to that. Well, a bit unfortunate appeal for the Bradford Bulls. I thought Robinson actually stole that football man on man. Here you see Lachlan get to it. Yeah, there's a hand in there. And the ball comes clear. Well, let's make an attempt to take the ball away. That should have gone back to 6 for mine.
It's Wigan who are in possession, though. They've had 3 tackles now. Johnson taking that tackle, finding Edwards. He got it to O'Connor. O'Connor is difficult to pull down. Eventually he goes to ground under the pressure from Bradley and Bernard Dwyer. This now is Henry Paul again.
Wigan playing very tight in and around the play the ball area. You'll see Edwards trying to bring it back in, so is Henry Paul. We haven't seen, sorry Eddie, we haven't seen much link out wide, but a neat kick by Farrell relieves the pressure. It's obvious that Wigan feel that Bradford have a few defensive sort of weaknesses in and around the play the ball.
His first kick in general play, Andy Farrell just turned Bradford round. The referee will put the scrum down just on the 20-metre line. Out the back it comes to McNamara, who finds John Scales. Scales only 21 and probably one of the most improved wingers in Super League at the moment, as is this fellow Matt Calland. He really has come on a bundle under Brian Smith's coaching. Bradford having the better of the football, but they haven't converted that possession into points yet. Wigan ahead, 4-0 where it counts. Tamani, it was a good telling tackle from Ellison, finished off by Johnson. Here's Stuart Spruce. Spruce is brought to ground by Johnson. Lowe's to Robbie Paul. McNamara, last tackle, they're running it with Bradley. Now the kick, now the chase. Robinson's after it, and Robinson runs the ball out. He runs it dead in goal. Drop out underneath the posts. Wigan.
Beautiful kick by the standoff Graham Bradley, who surprisingly is playing out wide in and amongst the centres. We've seen him over the last couple of weeks being played as an extra forward, but obviously Brian Smith feels that the big Australian Graham Bradley will do the damage out wide. But the experience of Jason Robinson coming to the fore. Wigan being booed for slowing things down.
Andy Farrell with a huge dropout. Underneath it is Stuart Spruce, 10 metres inside his own half. Off goes Spruce. Sensational start to his Bradford season. Wonderful play from Bradford. Lachlan, they keep it alive again. That's Furbank.
That'll lift their spirits. The Bulls play, the twist in the tackle, keep the ball alive. That's what made them so successful this season. Twisting and turning, upper body strength has proved a major factor.
This is Jeremy Doniger, being watched by his coach Brian Smith, just along from us here. This now is Robbie Paul, and here's Stuart Spruce chiming in. Calland, good defence. Oh, that's out the back door to nobody. Good job that Robbie Paul read that. Now then, there's space for Lowe's. He gives it to Dwyer.
They may have taken the wrong option.
They kept the ball alive. Back on the inside it comes again. McDermott. He goes to ground on the last tackle.
What a great tackle from Terry O'Connor, ball and all.
This is the last tackle now. I'm sorry, I misread the signal from referee Russell Smith. This is McNamara. Dabs it through side-footed. Twigger-Marler's after it. He gets it. And Twigger-Marler with the style and the power to get out of trouble. Tremendous.
Oh, he read it well, the big centre. Vaiga Twigger-Marler. All the strength in the world. It was a beautiful kick there. McNamara followed his kick through. Twigger-Marler came to the rescue. Good pressure. Tremendous work from Bradford.
Here's Horton. Good tackling by Tamani. And Horton was just clipped by Tamani on a second attempt. Referee gives the penalty.
Well, this is why we've got the experienced Russell Smith in charge of this very vital game. Tamani, no doubt, second attempt. And good to see that Russell Smith quick to jump on that. Far too often referees just let that sort of thing continue on. Spoils the game.
Good quick hands from Wigan. Connolly trying to open up the Bradford defence. but Doniger and Lachlan come round and pull him down. This now is Henry Paul. Henry Paul tackled by James Lowes. Robinson will take it on from dummy half. Such an elusive character is Jason Robinson. Tackled then by McDermott. Hall to Edwards. This is Andy Johnson.
Once again, we see the switch in and around the play the ball area from Edwards.
They're in the danger zone with Farrell. Farrell dumps it over the top to Edwards. Back it goes to Henry Paul. Picked up brilliantly. Movement continues to Cassidy. Out wide to Connolly, who has space. Connolly is held up. Great defence from Spruce and Doniger. Last tackle. It's with Edwards, who will hoist the kick across the field. But it went too deep. Ironic cheers from the terraces. A grimace from Edwards. A shake of the head. He acknowledges the mistake.
Tremendous attacking play, though, by Wigan. In and out. Farrell then first back on the inside. Edwards involved. Not the best kick, though. But that was brought about by great defence from Bradford. They applied the pressure to the Wigan skipper. Gave him no chance at all to get a good kick in.
18 minutes gone. It's flown past. And Wigan are ahead by 4 points to 0. An absorbing contest. As Bradford start to get a little more confident, but Tamani drops it. And Radlinski comes away with the ball again.
Missed opportunity, and there won't be many in this tight game. They will rue that, the Bulls. Great chance.
Andy Farrell makes the break. Russell Smith has taken a tumble. It's Henry Paul. It's Henry Paul who gets the try and dances with delight. Andy Farrell made the break. Henry Paul comes in with the tackle. The referee was grounded in back play. He took a tumble, but it all came from Tamani's mistake, I'm afraid.
And they made them pay the price. The first time it threw the link, and look at that beautiful step. Jeremy Donahue never saw Andy Farrell there. Through the dummy, then back on the inside. No interference. No interference at all. And it's 2-0 to Henry Paul. Robbie will be on the fight back, but what a great step from the big second rower, Farrell. Through the dummy again, delayed it just at the right moment. There was no interference there. He was a long way off, was Robbie Paul, but Henry wasn't. See how he throws the dummy, and you'll see how he just commits himself there. Farrell just stops. There was no way in the world that Robbie Paul would have been able to stop and try to get back to that. The step had already beaten him by his brother. Great stuff.
Henry Paul with the try, then Andrew Farrell. He missed with the earlier conversion. This is bang in front, and Farrell doesn't miss those. Andy Farrell, his penalty goal won the game against Castleford 7 days ago.
There you see how they moved out wide, and the circled man should have filled in. When the step came, look at the gap, it was too late. Farrell was clear. You don't give them chances like this. Superb delayed pass, but it was a step here. They'd gone. No, you could have had a brick wall, it would have made no difference. Robbie Paul was beaten by the step from his brother Henry.
I'll tell you something, Steve-O, there's about 17,000 Bradford Bulls supporters who watch the replay on the screen here in the stadium. They don't agree with your version of events.
Well, it was a good yard away from him. If it had been touching him, it would have been a different matter.
Henry Paul with a crunching tackle on Robbie Paul. This is James Lowes. Just for a moment, Bradford have lost a touch of direction. They certainly weren't put under this much pressure last week, and Wigan have a priceless 10 points to 0 lead. Medley, who's come on, he bounces off Twiggamala. He can't get away from Ellison. Last tackle on halfway. McNamara surely will kick for territory, and he does. But it's far too strong again. And McNamara, his kicking game, not as effective as it was last Friday so far.
Just off beam there with the kick. But they really have been blitzed. We saw last week it was Bradford's turn to blitz Saints, but Wigan really have taken their opportunities, but they will rue that fact. Joe Tamani dropping the ball so early in the tackle count.
This is Mick Cassidy now for Wigan. Let's just take a check on the battle between the two of them. And, well, it looks to me like it's Henry Paul thus far, because he also had a hand in the first try.
But the thing is that it's Henry Paul that is looking for work. He's really eager today. Normally he takes a while to settle into a game, but he's set his stall out very quickly.
Tamani decides to get the ball back into the field of play, and despite the tackle from Ellison, does so. That's great defence from Twigamala.
Did well though, Tamani, because Ellison was really flying at him. And you can see this defence is going up very quickly. Straight line from Wigan. They are just not being allowed to play, Bradford. There you see Henry Paul moving quickly, shutting them down, forcing Bradford down the middle corridor.
This is Bernard Dwyer. Wrestled to the ground by Twigamala. It's a tremendous defensive effort and a great attacking effort from Wigan so far. Robbie Paul. Over the top it goes to Doniger. Quick hands to Loughlin. To John Scales on his inside. Connolly's ahead of him. Connolly is a great defensive player. And Bradford ahead on clean breaks, but 10 points behind on the scoreboard where it really matters.
You've got to make it count. If you make that break, you've got to put points on the board, and that's a nothing kick. No problem at all there for Redlinski.
He had no other option though. Stuart Spruce, he just belted the ball downfield.
Well, you talk about bad injuries for Wigan. What a great hit! But Baiga Twigamala is not well. He's just walking back there. He got injured in the previous two tackle. Look at this. Dwyer goes in and helps and just cleans out Redlinski. The trainer running on to Twigamala to see if he's okay.
And to Danny Ellison as well. Ellison felt that.
That's a high swinging arm. He stepped back on the inside. They didn't like it. His head went right back. He caught it there. Simon Horton. Donna got to him. Well, what will referee Russell Smith think of this? The super slow-mo will show that he did catch him. Now, did Simon Horton milk it a little bit? Obviously, he would have felt it. He's going.
Doniger goes. The second Bradford player in a week to be sent off against the league leaders. Last week it was Carl Furbank. This week it's Jeremy Doniger and Brian Smith. And Jeremy Doniger, you can tell by the look on his face, knows that is a hammer blow.
He certainly swung, he grabbed out at the last moment. See better from this angle. He hangs back, he knows he's beaten. It's definitely high, straight into the jaw. Well, there appeared to be little doubt in the mind of referee Russell Smith. Well, you can't complain about this referee. He's in full control. He knew it was going to be rough and tough, and the message is clear now. Get those arms down. Play rugby league football.
So the Bradford Bulls 12 up against the champions 13, and it's Wigan who are 10-0 ahead. Johnson. The crowd stunned. I'm sure Bradford momentarily stunned. Henry Paul! It was a terrific tackle from Stuart Spruce. It was a try-saver, and there's another, and Connolly's lost it. They're claiming it was stolen from him. Referee Russell Smith elects for the knock-on. He's right.
He is as well. He tried to brush and go underneath Paul, and you can see he lost it quite clearly. There isn't an hand in there. Well, maybe not. Maybe on that second replay, we might have seen that Lowe's, the hooker, just got fingertips to it. But if we're struggling on the replay and the slow one at that, spare a thought for the referee Russell Smith.
Robbie Paul feeds the scrum, and here now is John Scales once more. Johnson and Connolly bring him down. Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer, they regard him as the big hitter of this Bradford Bulls pack. Here's another big hitter, Paul Medley. Twigamala is after him. He seems to have recovered from the earlier bang. Tamani to Bradley. Bradley grounded on halfway.
Well, it's obviously that Bradley wants to get involved with it, and he's going to be penalised for not getting on with the game. He was the man that was hitting Twigamala. Twigamala was just trying to get up and let him play the ball. Look at that. Twiggamala said, well, let me get out of the way first. Well, Russell Smith won't have any of this at the play the ball. They don't come any fairer than the big fella by Iga Twiggamala. And Bradley, trying to milk a penalty, has given one away.
I think he was a bit hard done by there, personally. Third Wigan penalty. Can it be a crucial penalty too? This is Cassidy now.
Well, the thing is, Eddie, you were critical about the referee last Sunday at Halifax.
Absolutely.
Saying they shouldn't get him, but they should make the control and take control. Well, he's doing it.
He is.
Can't criticise that.
This is Twiggamala. Twiggamala gets the ball to Ellison, who drops it. Twiggamala thinks he's got the touchdown. Referee says no, it's a tap on the Bradford 20-metre line.
Well, it's all happening, isn't it? Twiggamala, the strength on the inside. But good work, I think, from Callan that got across. Made sure that Ellison didn't go in for his second. What a pace this game is.
At the moment, Wigan are down to 12 men. O'Connor is back, receiving treatment in back play. This is Dwyer. Let's hear the news about O'Connor. Bill?
It looks pretty serious. Terry O'Connor is flat out at the moment, and it's his right ankle, his right shin, I should say. And there's no sign of any activity on the Wigan bench yet. I think they're seeing whether he's going to be able to carry on. In fact, he was almost the architect of that Twiggamala try, because Graham Bradley went in to try and effect a tackle and was flattened by O'Connor, who was prostrate on the ground at the time. So thankfully, Bradford got away with that one. O'Connor back on his feet at the moment, but it looks as though he's going to have to leave the pitch.
Meanwhile, the ball goes to ground. Bernard Dwyer picks it up. Out wide it goes to Calland. Chance for Calland, but that was great defence. Radlinski and Hall combining to hold Calland just half a metre short.
Well, I don't know why Matt Callan just hesitated. He got the ball on the full and then just tried to step. He would have been better served just to use his body strength. He's a pretty big centre, is Matt Callan. Hard man to stop. It was no time for finesse there. It was good work by Bernard Dwyer.
Terry O'Connor is off, and Matthew Knowles comes into this Odsal cauldron. The 20-year-old, just one substitute appearance so far against Warrington 2 weeks ago. But like the fellow in control of the ball now, Andrew Johnson, one for the future, Matthew Knowles, Great Britain Academy International. Edwards drills the ball over the top. That's a great kick. That forces Stuart Spruce to run the ball back. It'll be the zero tackle, of course. And there is the zero tackle from Connolly. No one has got past Connolly yet.
Tremendous display of defence from Wigan. The kick from Edwards there, the chase is always on. They're totally confusing this Bradford Bulls outfit, who have lost their way slightly.
Good run from Bradley, Lowe's in support. Now Robbie Paul! Desperate defence, and who was it? Andy Farrell. Here's Medley. Medley gives it to Callan. Callan keeps the movement going to Lowe's. Lowe's gives it to Medley. The ball was knocked back. It's play on. Bernard Dwyer. McNamara. McDermott. Out wide was Loughlin. Also was Scales. John Scales comes back this way. Still looking for the opening. No opening will come, though. It's a solid defence.
Maybe the change in tactics. Players like Robbie Paul, dink little chip over the top, perhaps.
Lowe's to Callan. Here's Tamani. Over the top from Tamani. Medley knees it forward. Radlinski's after it, and Radlinski just knocks the ball dead.
Well, there's never going to be any second doubt. Good work, though, from Medley. Radlinski earlier in the game allowed one of those to just dribble over, but he knew that it was going to be pursued. No chance for Radlinski. Let's get out of here, but good work.
Someone's in the blood bin, Bill.
Yeah, and a little bit of disruption for Wigan. They might just be affected by it at the moment, because Mick Cassidy, well, in fact, Mick Cassidy has left the pitch, and on has come in his place Steve Barrow. So the blood bin signs were up, and certainly the official on the sidelines was showing the blood bin signal, so we'll have to clear that one up. But Mick Cassidy has got a cut on his chin, and he's gone off.
So we thought he was in the blood bin, but apparently he isn't, Mick Cassidy. The referee hasn't sanctioned a blood bin substitution as Dwyer attacks this Wigan line again. There's Barrow, he is definitely on. But is it a blood bin or not? Slight confusion. Meanwhile, Bradley with the ball. Lowe's, McDermott. Door is closed. It's the last tackle here for Bradford. James Lowe's. Out wide it goes, McNamara. Medley! Medley! Has he grounded it? Has he grounded it? Russell Smith isn't sure. He will hand it on again for a decision by the video referee. Did he get it down? Didn't he get it down? That's the question.
No doubt in my mind. It took him a while. He was over there. There was legs underneath, but this is the point. Watch it. Bang. Now then, it's up to the referee. Did he call held? I doubt it. He did not get it down first time. He struggled there. You can see Ellison's leg underneath, but eventually, and only eventually, Medley gets the ball to ground.
It's a big decision then for the video ref. All eyes are on this screen. Here it is. Try given to Paul Medley, number 5 in Super League. The man who was in the side which beat Wigan here in April '94 has come up with a vital try.
Quick play the ball, and James Lowe's. McNamara is a beautiful pass there. He sucked in Twigamala. Ellison tried his best, and good positioning by the referee Smith. But James Lowe's and McNamara, two players who can get this Bradford outfit on the go. It took an eternity for the Bulls fans and the Bulls players before Medley got it down. But according to the referee and the fourth official, it was okay.
The tackle had not been affected on Medley because the ball or the arm carrying it had not made contact with the ground. That's the official ruling from the video ref. Try given. McNamara now, 46 Super League goals. He needs 3 points for 100 in Super League. It's his 14th game tonight. It's a vital kick this for McNamara and a vital kick for the Bulls. Cool as a cucumber, McNamara. 10-6. Bradford, the 12 men are back in it.
See how McNamara sucks Twigamala to him. Offers a beautiful pass. And Medley, the super sub, goes in. Good refereeing by Smith to allow that to go on. Ellison tried with the leg underneath, but to no avail. What a season this man's having.
And what a season here at Odsal. His 5th try in Super League, and every one has been scored here. Bradford 6, Wigan 10. Big question in my mind now, Steve-O, is how long can the 12 men of Bradford keep this going? It's down to fitness for them.
Well, if they would have put their heads down straight away when they lost their man, then I would have said they've got no chance, that they would absolutely tire, especially in the second half. But now they've fought back, got those 6 points. Anything can happen. Their coach, Brian Smith, will just tell them to take it steady. Don't panic. They've got the skill out there, especially the way that James Lowe's and McNamara are playing. We haven't seen Graham Bradley do the offloads yet, but they'll come in the second half, I'm sure.
Edwards drills the ball all along the ground, finds touch, and I think we will see the use and the diligent use of his substitutes by Brian Smith tonight now. 6 minutes to half-time.
Well, it's so important. Any coach these days realizes that it's not 13 aside. It's the 4 subs as well, and how you use them is so vital.
Tamani gets the possession from Robbie Paul's pass.
Tremendous effort, Eddie, for this Bradford Bull side to come back. They looked as though they were going to be absolutely blitzed by a Wigan outfit who were keeping this ball alive, but full credit to the Bulls. They fought back well.
And they looked as though they were going to be blitzed before Donegal was sent off. Since he's gone, well, they really have got the red mist on, haven't they, Bradford?
So often have we seen it in the past. 12 aside, they lift themselves, lift their spirits, say we can do it. He's down on the sideline now. He knows how important he is to be out there, close to his action.
Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer to Calland, who drops it. Another mistake from Bradford, another handling error.
Well, if you take away the handling mistakes that Bradford have done in this first half, they probably would have been 6-all. It was a bad mistake by Joe Tamani before that led to the try. Matt Calland this time. And we all And we all know there, look at the handling errors, Wigan 3, Bradford 3, equal on that account, but we all know what Wigan are capable from near the half-time.
Particularly this fella Twigamala, look at the strength of him. They crash tackle him to the ground eventually. He'd made so much ground though. Did he play that ball properly though? It seemed to be from a horizontal position. Admittedly, they were all over him.
That's why the referee, I think, said play on. It was good refereeing. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Let's get on with it.
This is Farrell, tackled by McNamara and also James Lowes. 3 tackles gone. Vital for Bradford. They hold out up towards half-time. Henry Paul gets the pass away to Connolly. Connolly, forward pass to Edwards. Matthew Knowles thought that he was over for an historic try. It's wiped out.
And what a great position from the referee, Russell Smith. He saw it quite clearly, and it was. Edwards was a little bit in touch. Talking of position, look at Twigamala coming from the blind side. That meant that they couldn't see where it was coming from. McNamara had peeled away from the scrum. Oh, tremendous play from both sides.
Loughlin trying to get the ball out wide to Scales. That's an area that paid rich dividends for them last week against St Helens, but Loughlin and Scales have not found this Wigan defence as easy to crack down the left-hand channel this time. Bradley.
Well, this is the type of run that Bradley will be doing in the second half. We mentioned that he'd been playing out wide in the centres for most of this first half, but I'm sure that he'll change it. He'll come back into that role of playing similar to a loose forward. Bad mistake by McNamara. Well, he's upset by it, but you can see that he was facing the sticks and lost control in a forward motion.
You think?
Yep.
Ball went back, I thought.
And according to the referee,
No,
Russell Smith.
He's the man in control. He's the one that matters.
There you see. Just because he loses it with one and knocks it back with the other. It's very similar to when you lose possession and it hits the opposition player. Doesn't have to hit the ground.
Oh dear. Steve-O obviously thinks you've got to go backwards before you go forwards. But it's a great contest. What a shame that Bradford are down to 12 men. Donegal off.
Well, I'm not so sure. It really has sparked them up. They were really in the doldrums until they lost their player.
I wonder what Brian Smith's going to say in the dressing room at half-time. Last week, he just said 2 words, remember Wembley. What's he going to say this week?
Remember Otzel. Just keep it going. They've done very well. That's a forward. He's missed that one. Well, the crowd have every right to go bananas. Look at that.
They're in possession with Twigamala. It's danger time. It's Ellison. Callan watched him, and Bradley was there as well. It's the last tackle here. This is a dangerous time for Bradford because Wigan are so elusive at this time. Horton held up on the post. Oh, so close.
What a great tackle from Robbie Paul. Horton tried to reach over and found the post was there. It was fingertips there. Spruce came to lend a helping hand. What excitement. Dying seconds of this first half.
What a tackle. What a moment to come up with a tackle like that just before half-time.
Oh. Clinging on.
And let's not take anything away from Stuart Spruce either, who came in and took it ball and all. Robbie Paul again. Now Medley. Still Medley. Tackled by Johnson. Last tackle. Great defence again from Wigan. The ball's penned inside their own half. They're running it. Callan will dab it through. He's got round Ellison. Bravery, though, from Radlinski. Great take from the Wigan full-back that was.
Nice kick. Good positioning, though, by Radlinski. Is that a fine game? They are really throwing themselves into this. The atmosphere is just electric. Super stuff, super league, super action.
4 points in it. We are less than half a minute away from half-time. This is the last attack from Wigan in this first half, you imagine. 20 seconds to go. Bradford will be counting the seconds down, but Wigan will throw everything and the kitchen sink They've kicked early. They're looking for Paul. Stuart Spruce came across and, like a great soccer full-back, hacked the ball out of the field of play.
A set move. They know that they're down to 12. It was a beautifully placed kick. He really was under pressure, Stuart Spruce. Did well. On the half volley, it was just about to bounce there. Did he injure himself as well, the full-back?
Referee puts the scrum down. Spruce seems to be all right. We make it half-time. Twigamala with the run. What's happened to the timekeepers? What's happened to the timekeepers? As Wigan, in the shape of Steve Barrow, come on the attack. There's the the half-time siren. What a match. What a contest. What a night at Odsal. Henry Paul goes off and gives a big hug to Twigamala. Paul, the scorer of the second try after 19 minutes. It was 10-0. Robbie Paul tried to push Bradford back into the picture. Donegan was sent off. Medley gets the try. McNamara kicks the goal. 10 points to 6 it is at half-time. Fabulous contest on a lovely summer's evening here at Odsal in front of the biggest crowd for years. 6-10.
What if the dream of time travel is a reality?
This is a matter of the utmost importance.
For the government, it is a nightmare.
I have to take you back.
If you can master the past,
Going back in time is a pretty easy way to make money.
you will be king of the future.
This one is mine. The son of a bitch is a presidential candidate, for crying out loud.
Time Cop, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Who sent you?
Ron Silver.
In my future, you're dead.
I can't go back.
Freeze!
Time Cop, the premiere, coming soon to the movie channel.
Go to sleep. Where are you going?
This is heaven.
This is freezing. I hate you. What am I doing here?
Come on, you know you love me and Rubber. Hold my towel.
Drown yourself.
What's the worst kept promise in the world, eh?
I do take thee.
No, not that one. That was just cynical.
It's this one. Hi, George. Look, I can't stop. I'll give you a call. Okay, great.
We say it all the time.
Oh, hi, how are you? Can't stop. I'll give you a call.
We even put it on our Christmas cards. I'll call you in the new year. Oh, yeah. That's it. Daft, isn't it? We let a friendship drift just for the want of a phone call. So if you said recently you'll call someone, well, do it. Right now. And after all, you're not the type of person to break a promise, are you?
George, it's Tom. Well, I said I would, didn't I?
It's good to talk.
I try to eat healthily, so I think it's only fair that my dogs do too.
Don't I, Fraser?
So I feed pedigree chum. It's really digestible, and now there's new lemon rice.
Thanks to our vets and nutritionists at Waltham, the world's leading authority on pet care and nutrition, all the nutrients in pedigree chum are easily absorbed.
It's meaty, looks good, smells great, and you can tell how much they like it by how fast it's eaten. I think I'm fit and healthy, but not compared to this lot.
Pedigree chum. Top breeders recommend it.
There is a tyre that combines grip and long life with an outstanding feature. Up to a 5% saving on fuel in comparison with our standard tyres. Michelin Energy, driving down the cost of motoring.
The hard right, and then hard left, and then right again. Come on, quick. Into the garage. The right is first cone. And then that's hard. It's good. Over the emergency stop. And stop. Excellent. Good drive. That's a pass.
What a game here at Odsal. Bradford 6, Wigan 10. Medley with the vital try for Bradford. Ellison and Paul with the vital tries for Wigan. 10 points to 6, and a big crowd here absolutely enthralled by what they've seen for the first 40 minutes. They were telling me here at Odsal before tonight's game that they had been receiving faxes from all over the country with people asking them for directions to come to see the Bull and the Bulls here at Odsal. So they are not old supporters who know their way here. They are new supporters who wanted to come here and be part of this big night. And Bradford have got it right on and off the pitch, and here is now a draw at half-time for a trip to Australia that the Bulls are giving away, along with a major supermarket chain. A trip to Australia, and apparently the winner comes from Newcastle upon Tyne. They market it well, don't they, here at Bradford. Terrific stuff. And a great game as well. Bobby Goulding has gone through all the emotions, the St Helens captain. Wigan 10 up, Bradford man sent off, cue the fight back.
Well, that's right. When you do get a man sent off, it usually picks all the players up. And, you know, it's an exciting game, and I think Henry Paul is absolutely magnificent. He's everywhere on the field, in attack and defence. And once he's shown the commitment, you think he'd never won a league title before. When Sean Edwards put a kick in, he was first to the ball, and Stuart Spruce had to kick it out into touch. Henry Paul has been magnificent in that first half.
He is just shading the battle with his younger brother Robbie at the moment, isn't he?
Oh, most definitely. He is everywhere on the park. About a full time, he'll have covered every blade of grass on the field.
I suppose you obviously were cheering when they came back, Bradford, and got the 6 points, but will the fact that they've got 12 men, will that tell on them in the end?
Well, you know, it can either lift the side, or they can either, you know, stick their heads in the jumpers and just weep at the end of the day. I think Brian Smith will get him in there at half-time. He'll rally his troops and they'll come out fighting in the second half.
Steve, what do you think Brian Smith is saying now? Because, as we said, against Bobby and the boy, well, Bobby wasn't here, but against St Helens last week, it was remember Wembley. What's he say now?
Well, I think he'll be saying to his players that you didn't get off to a flying start, you didn't get it right, Wigan were taking control, and until they lost a man, until they lost the prop forward Donahue, and it was then that they came back, it's then that they showed their spirit, and that's what Brian Smith will be saying to them now. You have shown me in your last 15 minutes that you are capable of taking on the champions Wigan. So that will bolster them, they will come back to it, and it was a great start. This is the incident that really just set the scene. A lot of people would have said that they would have their heads down. Well, they showed that they've got great character here at Odsal Stadium because the players really rallied around. And when you've got stars like James Lowes and McNamara, who I think have been playing magnificent, not only just in this game, but throughout the season. They never, ever throw the towel in, those two players. And, of course, we have not seen the explosive play from Bradley. He's been playing more of a centre in the first 40 minutes. I think they will use the ploy that they've used on the last 4 or 5 games, where they bring Bradley as an extra forward. He'll have to play as an extra forward now because they are down 1 man.
Well, Wigan got off to a tremendous start, didn't they? And what a start for Danny Ellison, who only found out, Steve-O, half an hour or so before the match he was playing.
Yeah, it was a tremendous finish to the boy, and if he just moved the way through, this was the first real strike to the Paul, wasn't it? Henry on this occasion. But just hold it there. You see how he just dummied? And he pulled in his brother there and make this man hesitate. That created enough space. Redlinski links well. Ellison. It needed finishing. It was no easy try. He really did well there. Finished it off well. And then at this point, a bad mistake by Tamani gave Wigan the possession. Hold it again. You see the step. Now this man will take him on. But once he's beaten, see how this man just fails to fill in the gap. It's only a split second, but he knows that he's made a mistake. 3 mistakes in this game against a team like Wigan, and they make you pay. Crowd thought perhaps there was a little bit of obstruction from Farrell, but on the replay, I think it showed that Paul was well and truly beaten. Full credit, though, we saw Lowes, McNamara combining. Medley, what a great season he's having. He's certainly been around quite some time, but this could be one of the most vital tries. He took a while to get it down, but no doubt in my mind, eventually.
Yes, he got it down eventually, and it's a try that Bobby has given Bradford hope for the second half.
Definitely, lift the spirits. They know that they can do it with 12 men, and hopefully they can.
You said that with a little smile on your face, because you're desperate, aren't you, for them to turn Wigan over here? Because I think everyone will say now, if Wigan win tonight, it's hard luck Saints. You're going to finish second.
No, we're not saying that. We know that both of us have got to go to London Broncos, which is going to be a very, very hard game for both sides. But still 40 minutes left. We'll have to wait and see.
And you've got Warrington in your last match?
Yeah, Warrington will be a very tough game. I'm sure Murph will have him psyched up, being an excellent Saints player and coach. And I'll be looking forward to the next 7 games.
Well, there's no easy matches. There's no easy money in Super League, and there's certainly no easy money here tonight, because Bradford and Wigan are serving up a treat for a huge crowd at Odsal. At the moment, it is just the men from Central Park, the champions who have been there, seen it and done it over the past 7 years, who have edged ahead. We have probably the most important 40 minutes of the season still to come.
Another chance to see Bow versus Galota in big-time boxing. Tonight at 9:30 on Sky Sports.
This is about the air we breathe. This is the Saab 9000 Turbo, powered by the latest low-emission engine. And this is an emission-seeking missile. Limited emission, beyond the conventional.
What do you get in July and August if you like to talk?
A sore throat.
Sorry about him, Mr. Hoskins.
It's all right. You get money off longer calls. Ooh. After you've been talking on the telephone for 10 minutes, you automatically get 25% off of all the time you spend on the call after that. Any questions?
Yeah, what's a telephone?
It's good to talk, and it's even better until the end of August.
There is a tyre that gives up to a 5% saving on fuel in comparison with our standard tyres. Michelin Energy, driving down the cost of motoring.
I play this club quite a lot. It's always packed. And the crowd always shout, encore, encore! To the waiters. Cronenbourg 1664, the best premium beer in France. Sorry.
VL5 styling wax, molds and shapes. So at least your hair will behave.
What happens when you choose a baby break mortgage from Bradford and Bingley?
We got a letter from the Building Society. You know, confirming the adjustment in the mortgage rate for the baby break, like we asked. What's the matter?
Why do we never see baby pigeons? Once your money's sorted out, you need something else to worry about.
Can Australia make a comeback now that the All Blacks have taught them a lesson? But things won't get any easier as they face world champion South Africa, who'll show the Wallabies why they are #1. The Tri-Nation Series, Saturday at 10:55 a.m, live on Sky Sports.
Bradford's record of 8 straight wins at Odsal is well and truly on the line in the second half here. They trail the champions by 10 points to 6. They've scored 377 points in their 8 home games, averaging more than 47 points per game. 68 tries here, 8.5 a game. Boy, how they need a few second half. There are the statistics from the first half. Scrums level pegging, penalties 3-1 in Wigan's favour. Bradford have had 54% of the ball to 46. How much more have Wigan done with it, though? Team tackling, 145 to 119. Missed tackles, Wigan have made 16. Clean breaks, 10-7. Level on the handling errors. Almost level kicks in general play, and the attacking kicks, Bradford have had 6-3. And the Bulls are keeping Wigan waiting. Wigan are there. Bradford, no sign. Henry Paul waiting for the re-emergence of his brother and the Bradford Bulls. Here they come. If ever a crowd could lift a team, it's the job of the Odsal faithful now. Certainly the biggest crowd that I've seen here. And that huge stand over on the far side, almost full to capacity. And there's quite a few on the terraces as well, isn't there? That's how important this match is. Matthew Elliott there coming out as well from the Bradford dressing room. Brian Smith's number 2. Russell Smith emerges to boos from the terraces. Referees aren't too popular anywhere in Super League, and Russell Smith isn't particularly popular here at Odsal tonight. He's made some brave decisions. He's made some decisive decisions. He hasn't wavered. And Russell Smith now just telling Bradford to keep on side at this kickoff. Stone Super League. You get the feeling the championship's up for grabs tonight. And off we go again in the second half. Robinson for Wigan will run this ball back and nearly escapes the clutches of McDermott, but not quite. I wonder whether Wigan will just turn up the heat now in the second half against the 12 men of Bradford.
Well, the key is to keep the ball alive and make sure that their kicking game, the long kick downfield, is first class. And realise that Bradford, the 12 men, they've got to run them off their feet and hope that perhaps the last 10-15 minutes they will just run out of steam.
Martin Hall spins in the tackle, gets the pass away, and that is Matthew Knowles. That's the last tackle for Wigan, this first set of 6 of the second half. Paul, an interesting kick. It's high, Spruce is after it, and Spruce gets it. Under pressure, though, from Henry Paul.
Took it well, back to the opposition. That was a brave catch by Stuart Spruce. Good defence, though, there by Simon Horton.
Clattering tackle on John Scales. Second. McNamara, 12 metres from his own line. Robbie Paul gets his team over the 20-metre mark.
They've done a pretty good job of the Wigan defence of keeping Robbie Paul very quiet. And we saw in those first 40 minutes that his brother Henry really did get involved. A bad mistake, though.
McDermott's lost it, trying to force the pace. I wonder if that's what Brian Smith has told Bradford. Bill's been earwigging at the door.
Well, he won't be happy with that. So I think the theme in that Bradford dressing room was that they really have got to work hard for this next 40 minutes. Down to 12 men and up against a very, very determined Wigan side. And significantly, Bradford just hung back in their dressing room a little bit longer. And I think there were some final words of encouragement from Brian Smith and Matthew Elliott. They really did come out of that dressing room with a very steely glint in their eye, the Bradford players. But they're up against it in this second half. Meanwhile, Wigan have problems, another problem, because Terry O'Connor has gone off to hospital for an X-ray on what's believed to be a broken leg. It's early days yet, but it could well be that O'Connor has got a fracture.
Dreadful news for O'Connor, bad news for Wigan. Better news for Wigan, though, because they're keeping the ball alive, and this is Martin Hall. Martin Hall again gives the pass inside, but McDermott comes up with it. A handling error. And now Spruce trying to get away from Matthew Knowles.
Well, good work by McDermott eventually, and then he throws the pass out himself. Nearly lost it. Well, a chance went begging. We mentioned that Wigan would keep this ball alive. They've done that. But forcing the pass like that won't help their cause.
It would be a famous victory for Bradford if they could win this. They've got a man here in Robbie Paul who could. Supported by Loughlin, supported by Dwyer. Radlinski stood his ground and put in a copybook tackle. McDermott, Paul, Spruce out the back door, Bradley, Dwyer, Lachlan. Lachlan gives it out wide. It's with Bernard Dwyer. Dwyer for the line. Will get the try. Bernard Dwyer levels it up for Bradford. They kept the ball alive, the Bulls. They wouldn't be beaten. And they've come back and they've leveled this match.
What a tremendous try. We mentioned that it was Henry Paul that injected himself into the game in the first 40. Now it's his brother Robbie. Bradley kept it alive. Lachlan back on the inside. The big prop forward kept it going too. And this man, Bernard Dwyer, he never gives in. Tremendous effort from Dwyer. They kept it alive. You would have thought it was Bradford that had the 13. This is a beautiful try. They don't come much better than this. And none more deserving than Bernard Dwyer. What a servant to rugby league, and what a time to score a try.
Great servant to the game, great servant now to Bradford, Bernard Dwyer. For so long, he was the servant for St Helens. But he has now been replaced by another former St Helens man, Sonny Nicol. Bernard Dwyer goes on to the bench. McNamara with the biggest kick he's had all season. It just went short. He got the direction right. Just missed out on the power. 10-all at Odsal.
We spoke at half-time about Bradley turning into a forward. He sucks in two of the defenders, and once this ball goes away, in and out, you could see that Wigan was struggling to get defence across. And Bernard Dwyer, what a great finish. The crowd go bananas. I'm sure that Brian Smith must feel his heart pounding away. How much pride they have shown. What a tremendous effort.
5.5 minutes, second half gone. Horton met by Nicol and by Medley. Bernard Dwyer, the hero of the moment. He missed the St Helens game last week. It was his first absence in Super League. He is now replaced by Sonny Nicol. And Nicol, a try against St Helens last week. 10 points all. Robinson for Wigan. Danger man, Jason Robinson. Oh, he's so elusive. What a brilliant run.
This is where Wigan need a quick play the ball. Spruce is trying to slow it down.
Edwards to Radlinski, and Radlinski takes the tackle from Stuart Spruce. Edwards, that was touched. It's back to 6. They've got 6 more tackles, Wigan. It was touched in flight. Graham West watching on anxiously. Farrell, can the champions spring back, as champions do so often, and hit Bradford while they're still thinking about that equalising try? Johnson, held for the time being. 3 tackles gone, 5 metres short of the line. This now is Steve Barrow. Barrow, a metre short. 4 tackles gone. Hall going on his own, just held up short of the try line. It's the last one. 39 metres made. The last metre is the important one. He drops it.
He'll take the first knock on, will he? Yeah. That'll be on the last, so it'll be the handover. Good defence. For those who don't understand the rules, in field of play you must go back 10, but when you're in a position like that, you only have to stand over the try line.
Tamani. Wigan offside, are they? Yes. There's the knock-on that gave Bradford this possession. So close to the try, but now Wigan caught offside.
You see, they never made any attempt to get out wide there. He allowed the advantage, his referee Russell Smith, not forthcoming. And the crowd are getting behind this Bull side now. I've never experienced anything like this before at Odsal. Absolutely tremendous, sensational feeling.
Here's Robbie Paul. This is the man most likely to for Bradford. James Lowe's. Spruce has chimed in. Stuart Spruce, who's had a sensational start. 4 consecutive try-scoring appearances at Odsal. Paul Loughlin, who as a former St Helens player has had many battles with this Wigan side over the years. Nicol, another in that category. He gets away from Twigamala, gets the ball out to Calland, and Calland will keep the legs going. Radlinski and Ellison deny him.
They must use a kick, surely.
Last tackle, it's 6 to go. It's got to be 6 to go. Robbie Paul, Loughlin, over the top, Scales, and Scales touches down. Priceless try for Bradford. John Scales with the try. Wigan on the ropes. And Bradford, the 12 men, they've bounced back. And Scales gets his 11th try of this fantastic summer.
Full credit to them. It was a fingertip. I was shouting for the kick. It was an awful pass from McNamara, but you could see that Henry Paul got fingertips to it. His brother said, thank you very much. Loughlin out wide. Jonathan Scales. The crowd are screaming, come on you Bulls. It was only fingertips, but either way, they kept it alive. Loughlin, beautiful pass. Scales, it tipped his way. The Scales surely did tip his way on this occasion. That tip was vital from Henry. The brother Robbie says thank you. What a game we've got.
What a comeback we've got, and if McNamara kicks this, the comeback's complete. The roar tells you, the flags confirm it, and from 10 down to 12 men, Bradford lead 16-10. John Scales, 4 tries in 5. Priceless 4 points then.
He was in the right position at the right time, but that, we talk about Maradona and the hand of God, well, that could be very similar. The knock-on from Henry Paul, gleefully snapped up by his brother Robbie. It is just sensational football from the Bulls this second half.
Wigan 10 up, now trail by 6. What a comeback by Bradford. 2 handling errors, the second one was crucial in the build-up to that try. But Wigan are not out of this yet. Matthew Knowles with that try. Martin Hall gives it to Mick Cassidy. This is Hall again, now Edwards. Edwards chipping over the top, looking for Henry Paul. Medley got a hand to it, the ball went backwards. Scales taking on Radlinski, brushing away from him. Getting away from Henry Paul. Edwards comes in, second effort.
It was a great option by Sean Edwards, the chip over the top. Produced so many tries this season, but good work by Medley. He read it well. He found himself in the sweeping role and got the fingertips to it.
Sonny Nicol takes the tackle. James Lowe switches the direction of the attack to Graham Bradley. He keeps the movement going. The support is there once again. 3 tackles gone.
Bradley again now getting into the swing of things as a forward player, twisting in the tackle. So keep your eye out for Robbie Paul. He'll be running close to his shoulder.
Callan, over the top it goes. It was looking for Paul. Connolly's intercepted. And Connolly is wrestled to the ground by Spruce. They were looking for Robbie Paul.
Panic football, but Spruce really just had fingertips on him.
This now is Matthew Knowles. Knowles still. Tremendous run from Matty Knowles. Hall to Farrell. Great tackle from Robbie Paul. Cassidy, Edwards, Henry Paul, Simon Horton taking on Bradley. Bradley and Calland cut him down. 4 tackles gone. And there's a schmozzle at the play of the ball then. Referee Russell Smith says, let's get on with it. Edwards says the same. Switches the direction back to Johnson. Johnson to Cassidy. Cassidy up into the air, risky business. Radlinski.
It's a forward pass. He's picked it up as well. Sean Edwards looked at the touch judge. Johnson can't believe it. This is the pass where Farrell had to dip forward. That was the pass that's been deemed as the one forward, not that last one. The flip up, well, it was close, wasn't it? It looked okay from mine. Talk about tension. Nobody's making many cups of tea, I'll tell you.
Definitely not. The referee wants the scrum to reform, and Robbie Paul breathes a sigh of relief for that. McDermott has gone off, and Carl Furbank has returned. Brian Smith is spelling his prop forwards. This is a battle royal.
It's up to Bradford now to believe in themselves, not just to think that they can hang on to this 6-point lead. Be confident with runs like that from Joe Tamani. Help lift your confidence. Show it out there on the paddock, don't just hang on.
Bradley, that got a touch to it. And there was a Bradford man then who was held back. The referee looks to the touch judge. Bradlinski's try is wiped out. Bradlinski's try, the referee blew the whistle. He's not made a decision yet, but the whistle's gone.
First knock on, that's what he's made the decision of. Thankfully, he looked for advice from the touch judge. Bradley tried to get it away. Connolly, right arm, going round the back. Definitely touched it. Well, there certainly was a bit of interference from Sonny Nicol, but to no avail. They'd already decided that this was the incident. Right arm, the fingertips gets to it. Close shave. Well spotted by the touch judge.
Well, Wigan got out of jail last week against Castleford with the last-minute penalty goal from Andy Farrell, and they are being shaken by the Bradford Bulls here tonight as the Bradford Bulls look for their second successive win against the leaders of Super League. What a run from Nicol.
Was it ever? This is to Henry Paul. Get out of the way.
Furbank is grounded on the fourth tackle. Lowe's, Medley, taking them on. Medley, brave run. Wigan stand firm. Connolly is an excellent defender, and the referee has seen a swinging arm. I'm not so sure it was Connolly. I think he might have been the second man in.
Martin Hall, I think. Well, Martin Hall, that was fair. Connolly looked all right. Well, it's Andy Farrell. He's got him for swinging the arm, not a high tackle, but swinging with intent anyway. This is okay. So is this. This one, well, you can see it was an open palm.
And in the ribs.
Well, I know it wasn't going to be a high one, but he's got him for intent. Andy Farrell can't believe it. And I'm not surprised. Watch the swinging arm. It's not high, and it was flat. Well,
but that's a ball in all tackle, isn't it?
Well, it's all, obviously he's confused it. Referee Russell Smith feeling as though it was intent to hurt the man with a clenched fist. Well, but it wasn't clenched, it was open.
Big decision by referee Russell Smith. Another big kick then for Steve McNamara. Andy Farrell watching anxiously on, and everybody inside Otzel holding their breath. This could push the Bulls 8 points ahead. He's missed it. Was that the chance that went begging?
That could have just been the 2 points needed. A quick kick-off by Wigan. The Bulls were caught napping somewhat, and Spruce wasn't back in his position, but what a great run.
Sensational run from Stuart Spruce. He's come alive at Otzel.
There's a Wigan player down in the background. In the option of tackling Spruce, I think he caught a stray boot. Can't see who it is as yet.
Paul gives it to Loughlin. Loughlin was looking for John Scales. On that occasion, he wasn't outside of him. Paul to Scales, now he is.
Tremendous work from the winger, Jonathan Scales. He's come on a bundle this Super League.
McNamara picked that ball up well. Nicol took the tackle from Mick Cassidy. 47 metres they've made. They're running it with Bradley. He's trapped. They're still running it. It's Medley. Drop the ball, and Twigamala has it back.
Tamani couldn't keep it in. Medley did well, get the ball back on the inside. Ricocheted off Tamani's face. Well, running the power play with only 12 men, how's that for confidence? And it's certainly rocking this Wigan defence. They didn't expect anything like this.
Henry Paul. Andy Farrell just holds on. Radlinski, tackled by Robbie Paul. Connolly, surrounded. Furbank gives the ball to Radlinski, who finds Robinson. Wigan are just plodding, and Robinson is dancing. And then goes to ground under the tackle from Paul.
Good defence there from Graham Bradley. He stood like man mountain there and made sure that Robinson would go back on the inside. Swinging arm from Nicol. Referee Russell Smith said it hit the shoulder.
Farrell to Edwards. On halfway, Henry Paul. Henry Paul gives it then to Knowles. And the referee's given the forward pass on a huge shout from the crowd. And I think Wigan have been a bit hard done by again.
Well, Henry Paul can't believe it. There's nothing wrong with this. It was a straight pass. The crowd go up. Obviously a few seconds for the brain cell. That's all right. A few seconds for the brain cells to ignite in perhaps the officials. But the crowd here, anything that's anything 50-50, they're going up for.
Bernard Dwyer returns, the man who scored the try, which gave Bradford the lead. We have a quarter of this match remaining, 20 minutes. The scrum is getting just a little bit tetchy and untidy. Robbie Paul
is knocked on. What a mistake. It's no good arguing, Robbie. You had your chance and you fluffed it.
Came back off the heel of his front row. Just did enough to knock him out of his stride. There, off Carl Fairbank. Sean Long is on for Wigan. Matty Knowles has gone off, another of the young breed. Sean Long, 19-year-old, comes on. Steve-O, we have 20 minutes left. I don't want this to end.
Tremendous stuff, isn't it? There's the battle. Robbie Paul now coming up with the tackles, as with Henry. He hasn't missed many tackles. Henry's starting to get in that way, and that's great defence.
John Scales wrestling Gary Connolly into touch.
And there we saw on that second stat that Henry Paul missing tackles now, handling errors as well. Great defence. Scales says to Connolly, get out of here. Tremendous stuff. So much strength.
Not so sure he was out of play when he released the ball. Knock on, the referee maybe has given anyway.
Well, it shows you on those stats that we just saw previously that Henry Paul taking a few errors now. And Robbie Paul gaining in confidence. It was definitely Henry's first half, but it's Robbie's in the second so far.
Nicol just brushed Henry off then. Ball spews out.
Let's play on, one-on-one.
Wigan try and inject the pace now with Robinson. Sean Long, what a tackle, Callan.
Beautiful stuff from Callan. That was a one-on-one situation. Callan came in there, crunched any opportunity. Oh, great stuff. That's the sort of defence that will win you the game. Simon Long felt it too.
Farrell stands in the tackle, whips the pass out to Henry Paul. Henry Paul gets over the halfway line. Nicol held on to him. Callan, average tackles 10 per match. Tonight, 9.
And he'll probably get through another 9, especially with the fact they're down to 12. That was a high one, I think.
Use of the elbow. Fairbank.
Well, it looked to grab him for me. Maybe he's got him for the second flop. Going over the top, Bernard Dwyer with the elbow. Yeah, he's got him with Bernard Dwyer
It's Dwyer's
swinging.
elbow, yeah.
Well, when the referee blew the whistle, I'm sure that Carl Fairbank's heart went, oh, don't tell me he's got me for that one. That was fair. But not that one. Edwards looks at the referee and says, you're kidding, mate.
Whistle blew. Penalty Wigan. Chance then. Hero and villain, Bernard Dwyer. Hero with the try, villain with the little use of the elbow. Now then, Andy Farrell last week kicked the goal that beat Castleford in the very last minute. We've a long way yet to go, but this could be a highly prized 2 points. And Graham West and Joe Lydon, the coaching duo, know it. He's got it. 2 extra points for Wigan. 16-12.
They don't come any cooler, do they? Andrew Farrell, as Eddie mentioned last week, saved the day for Wigan against Castleford last week. And there again, what a vital pressure kick. Adds the 2.
Wigan kick off. Oh! Stuart Spruce nearly lost it under pressure from Cassidy.
He caught the knees as well. Cassidy going low. James Lowe's trying to intimate to the referee, Russell Smith, that it was a foul, but the ball was there, and you can see that Mick Cassidy had committed himself. There's no doubt about that he made contact. Pretty hard to stop yourself when you make it there, but he would have felt it, the full-back Stuart Spruce.
Right in the kidneys. Stuart Spruce flat out. So a break in play here. And Andy Ireland is getting married tomorrow at St Thomas's Church in Ashton in Makerfield. Apparently Andy is the second choice because Julie Atherton, his fiancée, is in love with Steve-O. I can't believe that. So let's go downstairs and talk to the bridegroom. He's on the sideline with Bill.
I don't know about wedding eve nerves, Andy. What's making you more nervous, this game or the prospect of getting married tomorrow?
Oh, this game, definitely. It's incredible, isn't it? The lads are playing really well, yes, but I've got a little game of my own tomorrow. We'll see how it goes anyway. Looking forward to it.
Well, do you reckon that the 12 men of Bradford can pull this off?
Definitely so, definitely. The lads have had a real rallying call at half-time. They're going to do this game for Jerry, and the way they're playing at the moment, I don't see why we can't. We're keeping the ball alive, ball in the tackle and all that, playing really well.
OK, big plug for the wedding day.
Yes, hello to Julie back home, who's hopefully watching the match on her own. She's got a few friends round tonight, so hopefully she'll have a quiet drink, and I'll be out myself after and before Doomsday tomorrow.
I tell you what, she might say no after that. This is Calland, and Calland is just ankle tapped brilliantly by Edwards. A telling tackle. Robbie Paul gets the pass away. Lowe's out wide it goes to Bradley. Bradley hacks the ball downfield. He's looking for that raised corner over there, but the ball runs dead. Bradley with the kick. And look at the crowd, 17,360. The biggest crowd here at Odsal for a league match for over 20 years. And they are being treated to one of the games of the summer of '96. And tomorrow, the Saturday match will be Paris against London. The Saturday game, 5:30, we are live and exclusive. Paris Saint-Germain looking for a priceless win. It's at the Charlotte Stadium. It's Bastille weekend in France, and they are promising a bumper crowd there as well. Let's hope so.
Talking of battles, we've got one here, haven't we? Wigan trying to claw back into it. One-man advantage. They know that Bradford would tire. Connolly's trying everything within his realm.
That was a beautiful pass off the deck to Henry Paul. Bradford have got 14 minutes to hang out. It's the last tackle. Edwards was the chip looking for Robinson. Spruce does well. Spruce was brave. Remember, he got a bang in the kidneys not long ago. What's this?
Put his body on the line there. Robinson went for the shoulders.
Tamani is the hero of the hour for Bradford supporters, but Spruce with a brave interception of the kick. The clock is ticking down for Bradford. I wonder how they're feeling at St Helens also.
I wonder how Bobby Goulding's feeling in our studios.
He'll be biting his fingers down to the quicks.
Listen to this crowd. This has been an absolutely tremendous effort from the Bradford Bulls this second half.
Nick Cassidy in there, just missed the tackle on Calland. He has 8 stitches in a wound to his chin. It's a brave game, this Super League business. There's Cassidy. He's lost the ball. He's lost that ball at 6 to go. 6 to go for the Bulls. Robbie Paul into the wall that is Radlinski and Robinson. Now then, this is a big chance for Bradford. Wigan now being tested in defence. Lowe's to McNamara to Scales. I think he's got it. I think he's got the try. That's the try for Scales. The 4 points given. Second try for Scales. Oh, what a comeback by Bradford. What a night at Odsal. What a night for John Scales. And what a night for Brian Smith. There was doubts that he could raise his team again, knowing that he is going at the end of the season, but Bradford have answered.
Super work from Lowe's, who got the setup. McNamara playing as a centre. That took some scoring by Scales. It was a bad mistake from Mick Cassidy. See how he got to the football, it went behind him. They regained the ball. Lowe's to McNamara, superb pass. This took some beautiful try. Strength from Scales, puts his shoulder, bang. What a try, what an effort. Wigan come up with a mistake. Bradford make them pay. They have absolutely gone bananas here, and rightly so.
John Scales, the man that Bradford picked up as a bargain buy from Leeds. Hat-trick in the Cup semi-final, 2 tonight, just as important, if not more so. McNamara misses another kick, that's 2 from 5. 6 vital points that have escaped McNamara, but it's 20 to Bradford and 12 to Wigan. You couldn't have written a script like this.
They thought this man was going to get it, and you can see how Cassidy runs for him, but it strips across his shoulder. What a great try, well worked. Bradford are leading, and that's no bull.
Scales, a try in each of his last 3 games. A try in last season's home defeat by Wigan. But just look at the terraces here at Odsal, and with performances and matches like this, they will be flocking into Odsal if it keeps on going. And why not? 20 points to 12, the perfect advert for Bradford Bulls, the perfect advert for Super League.
Outstanding display. You talk about grit and determination. The defence this second half has been outstanding.
Sean long way to go yet though. 10 minutes. He plays the ball to Robinson, who finds Edwards. Tuigamala has been quiet second half.
They've shut all the Wigan stars down, and it's defence like that. The spirit here is absolutely superb. They know that their coach Brian Smith is going back to Australia. Well, they may send him back with a present that even Brian Smith thought was out of the realm of possibility. The Super Luke Trophy.
If they win tonight, they will be 3 points behind Wigan. They've beaten Wigan if they manage to win here tonight. But Graham West knows his team of champions can come back off the canvas and maybe can beat the 12 men of Bradford. But if they do win tonight, they will have claimed the scalps of league leaders in successive weeks. 9 minutes to go. Bradley still. Heroes all in the black, white, red and gold of the Bulls tonight, but he didn't play the ball properly, Bradley.
He thought he'd get a penalty himself, but you can see that he was pushed down there. Andrew Farrell. And that's the reason, but Lowe's here. Trying to keep the ball alive, and Lowe's didn't realise.
Well, the referee has held
Robbie
the clock
Paul.
up.
Take your time, Robbie Paul.
He's held the clock of the referee because he's just been hit smack in the face by the penalty. Oh, he felt that.
Well, he does right there, and you can see that Robbie Paul lost his cool a little bit, saying, don't stop the clock. He didn't want the clock stopped. Well, get on with it.
The referee could be in the blood bin here. Because the referee now is just wiping away a touch of blood. That was a real smack in the face. Robinson loads the pass, meanwhile, to Henry Paul. And he's watched all the way by Lowe's. Martin Hall, dummy half. Farrell, ball to ground, knock on. Edwards says it went backwards. Johnson thought he'd retained possession. Referee's whistle blows.
Trying to keep the ball alive, and the youngster had no chance of getting it. They have just absolutely been blitzed. See the inside pass. There is just nowhere to go. Bernard Dwyer leading the charge. Joe Tamani. They're all enjoying this. The 12 men of Bradford. The brave 12 men too.
12 handling errors to 9. Bradford in possession with Bradley. All his years and years of experience, Graham Bradley, needed now. Scales, 2 tries tonight. Dummy half. Furbank takes the tackle from Cassidy. Horton all over him as well.
They're not finished. Bradford want more. They're not just going to hang on to this 8 points. They want to send this crowd home, really cheering with another try.
Lowe's, ball on the inside to Nicol. Nicol taking on Twigamala and Edwards. The pass out wide to touch.
Once again, Nicol trying to keep it alive. Really not the best option, but he could see that Tamani was unmarked.
Young Danny Ellison did well.
He did. He'd come inside, but he'd be just outside. Well, I've never seen a Wigan defence close down so efficiently in this second half. It has been superb by Bradford.
8 points the gap. Coming up to 6 minutes remaining. Wigan looking to unlock this Bradford defence with Robinson. Robinson making ground. What a run from Robinson. Support from Farrell. Farrell's closed down by Tamani and Scales.
Wonderful scrambling defence. Robinson got it away. Farrell just didn't have the legs. They're not done, Wigan.
They aren't done. This is Johnson. Good tackling by Nicol. Calland helped out. 3 tackles gone. Ellison to Edwards. Edwards to Robinson. Robinson tackled by Nicol. They've lost it.
Martin Hall knocked on. It was alive and running, but not until Martin Hall's mistake. The look on his face just says it all, doesn't it? Good run by Tomlinson.
Penalty, Bradford. Use of a forearm in the tackle by the grounded man, or on the grounded man.
Fresh legs of Tomlinson there, and it was a flop there from Sean Edwards. Trying to use the elbow into the substitute Tomlinson. Frustration showing on the experienced skipper Sean Edwards. He knows they have been totally outplayed this second half. Here it is, flopped the elbow, gave a little facial to Tomlinson. He won't mind though. It's winning pay for the Bulls.
Well, it is in 5 minutes if they can hold out. Furbank taking on Horton. Cassidy in there and Henry Paul. Surely Bradford now will just try and slow it down.
Well, to their credit, that's the reason why they are winning this game. Even when they went into the lead for the first time, they wanted more work. They wanted to work for each other.
Look at those missed tackles. 38 missed tackles by Wigan. That wasn't a missed tackle by Cassidy on Tamani, though. The third of this set of 6. Tomlinson.
Well,
Bradley.
That stat just said it all, didn't it?
Bradley thought about one over the shoulder and thought better of it.
What a great game this second half Bradley's had. He's led by example. But this guy's been outstanding.
Support is there from Lowe's. Who's that? I think it's Christie. He's just come on. Gary Christie's just appeared. He's just come on for Tamani. He was so close. Paul. McNamara. Scales on a hat-trick. Forward pass given. Forward pass.
Tremendous effort though. Scales trying to get into the corner. Gary Connolly, a beautiful pass, but this man, James Lowes, he's worked his heart out. Christie went close. And what a great spirit this game's been played in. Okay, we've had a player dismissed, but it's been absolutely wonderful. You can see Gary Connolly and Scales there, and Scales tapped him on the face and says, great tackle.
Craig Murdoch has come on for Martin Hall, and Craig Murdoch so often this season has come up with priceless tries. There he is in at dummy half, the number 18, he finds Edwards. Edwards ball out wide to Ellison. Danny Ellison taking them on up the line, and Ellison in touch. Superb defence.
Bernard Dwyer take a bow. Not only scored a vital try at the restart, but throwing his body on the line. Spruce helps him get over. What a game, what a character, what a servant to the game of rugby league. He's done 19 so far, and 19 powerful tackles too.
And Bernard Dwyer has been on and off this field tonight. He's been replaced by Brian Smith. But Brian Smith leaving this club at the end of the season. What a dynasty he is building here at Odsal. I know that perhaps big Aussie dollars have come floating up from the Southern Hemisphere, but how on earth does he leave this behind?
Well, the thing is, the players and the fans have turned up in their thousands. The players today, especially in the second half, have shown the fans, okay, their set is going, but the dynasty at Bradford will not come to a halt. They have a long way to go yet.
Bradford, as we approach the final minute, ending on the attack. Little kick from McNamara just to eat up the clock, and I wonder what Jeremy Doniger is thinking about here. He is watching alongside Simon Knox from the dugout here, a match that perhaps he should have been playing in himself, but for a rush of blood when he stuck out the swinging arm. I wonder whether that was the moment that turned the game, strangely enough, in the Bulls' favour.
Certainly was in my mind.
Oh, Trigamala drops it. I think Wigan are done for. I think that sums the whole night up.
No point in peeling the prawn and not eating it. And he had the chance. But pressure again. Matt Calland, this second half, all the Bradford Bulls. Wigan are stunned. It was their first 40, but Wigan haven't had a look in this second 40 minutes.
Christie for Bradford. Fresh legs, the substitute. Inside the last minute. 8 points the difference. It's Bradford's night, I fancy.
They won't want to go home, this crowd. They'll want to savour this moment for hours and hours, and rightly so.
Remember, they have not beaten Wigan for 2 years. There's the siren. We make it slightly early, but Bradford Bulls have come up with a famous victory that has again, for the second time in a week, turned Super League upside down. They're on the field, on the pitch, on the terraces. They are dancing with delight. It's a tremendous night for Bradford. It's a great night for the Super League. Over 17,000 people have witnessed it, and many, many thousands more around the country and around the world, courtesy of Sky Sports. The night that Wigan thought they were coming to claim virtually an 8th championship in a row. But no, Bradford Bulls came up with the goods, and Robbie Paul has won the personal battle with his brother Henry. What a night though for Bernard Dwyer and the Bradford Bulls, and Bernard Dwyer scored the vital try second half. There he is, waiting to talk to Bill.
Bernard, what a reception. Can you believe this?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. The crowd here really get behind the team. Just the crowd here tonight is fantastic.
What about that performance? I mean, you must have thought that things were conspiring against you when Wigan scored, then you had Jeremy Doniger sent off. It didn't look too clever then, did it?
No, we went 10 points down and we got Jeremy sent off. And it just shows the character in this side. We come back and we fought really hard. Every one of our players out there give 110%. And it's just fantastic to be here and be part of the game tonight.
Well, of course, a crucial moment was your try. What can you recall of that?
Well, I've been having a bit of hamstring trouble of late, and we just had 150 yards for it go.
You just made it?
Just about,
How much of a factor was the fact you're playing in front of 17,000 fans like this, an atmosphere like this?
Oh, it's fantastic. I've come from St Helens, and the crowd do really get behind them. But this is something special tonight. Just lifts the lads that couple of percent more. Fantastic.
You've beaten Saints, you've beaten Wigan. I think you're only 3 points off the top now. Are you thinking in terms of Super League champions?
No, we just set a goal, we go to the end of the season unbeaten, and try to get hopefully second spot or in the top four, and just go for the Premiership at the end of the season. If it comes that way, that we might be in the shout at the end of it, but we just got to keep going on winning our games.
Bernard, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
One of the great servants of rugby league, and Robbie Paul, he now embraces his young supporters. Yes, they are 3 points adrift of Wigan now. They have an inferior points difference. Wigan would have to lose twice more to let Bradford in, but what have they done to St Helens' chances tonight? Robbie Paul's won the battle with his brother. It's Robbie's night in Bradford. He's with Bill.
Robbie, early on, I think you were shaded out of the game, weren't you? Your game got better.
Wigan really brought it to us, and they put us 10 points under, but we come back, stuck to our guns. You really see the pride and passion in the team. There was a lot of it tonight.
What was said at half-time? Because you came out of that dressing room and there was just a glint in your eyes, wasn't there?
Brian said to us, you're going to need something special here. Something that's going to win the game for your mate next year. You're going to have to pull it out for each other. You're 12 men, you're one man down. That makes it really hard. So Brian said, if you want to do it, you got to do it for each other. Do it for the club and do it for everyone here.
Was there maybe early on a little factor, even though you'd played so well against St Helens, maybe just a little fear?
The club's on high at the moment. We're just bounding from success to success. Tonight we smashed our attendance record. 23 years, I think it's been standing at 14.5. 17 here tonight, 17 plus. So I mean, this is tremendous. What summer rugby has done for Bradford is amazing.
Well, thanks, Robbie. 2 tries for John Scales. You enjoyed tonight?
Yeah, it was good. It's always nice to get over. But against Wigan, I suppose it's all the extra. And hopefully we can go the rest of the season beating everybody else at home. And we should be all right.
They weren't classic wingers, sort of 50-yarders, were they? But my word, you had to battle for those.
It depends what sort of winger you are, really, doesn't it? Whether they're the classics or not. So yeah, they've got a lot of good lads around you, and they do put you in quite well. So come on, I'll take them all, mate.
Well, this must be really sweet for you to come here, maybe when your career hadn't taken off as you'd hoped. Now it certainly has.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good coaches, and it's really on at Bradford at the moment. They're really doing very, very well. And it's got to be good. It's got to lift you, and you've got to play well. And when you're playing well, we'll see what we can do. Team playing well all together. Off we go.
Well, you've beaten Saints, you've beaten Wigan. I mean, there's an outside chance of that Super League title.
There's also an outside chance of everything, isn't there? Well, we still need a few teams to do us a few favours, i.e. beating Wigan, turning Saints over. But it's not impossible. They can be beaten, as we've shown.
You have indeed. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
The Bull man will sleep easy in his bed tonight, because if they can't finish top, they'll settle for second. And that could prove crucial as they aim for a Premiership final in September before Brian Smith departs for Australia. How he can leave this team and these supporters, I don't know. But he is doing, and Bradford will leave us with some marvellous memories from this summer. 2 of them in the past week, as they've beaten Saints and now Wigan.
August on Sky Sports. England's European Championship heroes return for a new season of Premier League football. And to mark the start of the new season, Man United and Newcastle clash for the Charity Shield. In worldwide rugby, South Africa face New Zealand. Sampras and Graf defend their titles at the US Open. England's cricketers take on Pakistan in the Texaco One-Day Internationals. And last year's runner-up Colin Montgomery joins Faldo & Co. in Kentucky for the US PGA Championship. Prince Nassim is back in big-time boxing. Can Fogarty ignite his fans once again when World Superbikes reach Brands Hatch? The top 4 teams play off in the Super League semi-finals. And Europe's finest golfers continue on tour at the British Masters. To reinforce Sky's commitment to live football, coming in August, the Nationwide Football League and the Coca-Cola Cup. Sky Sports in August.
We believe a mobile phone network should suit you, not the other way round, which is why Orange offer a choice of 5